A new year is here, which means new board games for 2025. Hey, it's Jared from Specifically Solo. Today, I'm taking a look at my top 10 most anticipated board games for 2025. There's a few caveats with this list, though. Of course, we only know what we know at this point in the year, so there may be things coming out later this year that haven't even been announced yet. So these are just games that have been announced, that are public knowledge, that we know about. And also, of course, since this is a solo board game channel, all of these games you are able to play solo. So let's go ahead and jump into my top 10 most anticipated solo games for 2025. So number 10 on the list is a little card game from Button Shy Games. This is what they do. They're known for this. You may have a couple of their games. They all come in these little wallets. And their new one is Casinopolis, coming in at number 10 on the list. So you may have played Sprawlopolis, which is a really fun game with these cards where you're trying to build roads, connect kind of city districts together. Lots of replayability. They're a very quick little fun card game. And that's kind of what they're going for here in Casinopolis as well. So in this game, it's a standalone entry. It plays similarly to the original with a few different twists. In this one, you're trying to create large groups of casinos and also line up these jackpot icons along your roads and balance scoring from a couple of different unique goals. So this is just 18 double-sided cards. Obviously, they'll have different things on them and different scoring conditions as well. And then you just add the cards to the map, and you have to add them in a horizontal alignment. And then each card features a couple of different blocks that are split between the different casino colors. So you're trying to match those up as well. So again, just a very fun, quick game. It's a 1 to 2 player game. Obviously, it's going to work great solo. A lot of the Button Shy games work great solo already. The reason that this is number 10 is it's a pretty small game. And also, we just don't have a lot of info on it yet either. There's not that many pictures of it. There's a great description on Board Game Geek. But in terms of actual gameplay, haven't really seen a whole lot yet in terms of, how this will actually work, but I know it's going to be fun, and I know it's going to be a quick card game that I can add to my collection and just kind of pull out whenever I want to play something quick and easy that doesn't take up a lot of space and is a easy setup and is a fun theme as well. So Casinopolis, number 10 on the list. Number 9 is a much bigger game than Casinopolis. This is the new Vital Lacerda game. This is Speakeasy. So I'll come in with a caveat on Vital Lacerda. I have never played any of his games before. I really want to. I've heard that they are really fun, really enjoyable experiences once you wrap your head around the rules, and some really great solo experiences as well. And why this is number 9 on my list is the theme for this one is drawing me in. So this is a worker placement and a card management game, and you're taking on the role of a mobster, and you're managing and operating your very own speakeasy in Manhattan. So you're obviously trying to collect resources, upgrade your speakeasy, and even create casinos as well, and also try to stay away from the mafia and the police. You have to hire goons to help you take over Manhattan. You can even attack other companies in this game. You've got to manage your cards strategically as well to deliver this liquor that is illegal. So all those things are really intriguing to me. I'm interested to see how they all come together in the game design. Again, this is supposed to be out later this year. I know it's going to be a big game. If you look at the pictures of it, it's a very sprawling game, a lot of things going on, but I've always wanted to play a Lacerda game. This might be the first one that I take a crack at because, again, the theme just feels so interesting to me, and it feels like the mechanisms and how things are going to work throughout the game really fit that theme well. A big experience here. This is Vital Lacerda's Speakeasy at number 9. Number 8 is a game that is supposed to come out this year, but I think there's lots of questions about whether it's going to come out or not, and that is Flow. So in Flow, this is a strategy game, and there's lots of different things going on in this game. You've got, obviously, movement, you've got a little bit of a Mancala aspect going on, a modular board, variable player powers. These are all descriptions used on Board Game Geek of how to describe this game. So this really intrigues me just because it seems like there's so many different things going on. Now, sometimes when you have that many things happening in a game, it can kind of fail because you've got just too many mechanisms fighting with each other. But I'm hoping this works out really well because the artwork looks fantastic, the board looks great, and the theme is really fantastic in this one as well. So this is also not like a legacy game, but it kind of is in a way. It's not being described as that, but basically after each game, you're going to unlock these stickers that you can use to track your progress in the village. And then when you reach certain milestones, you get to open new envelopes and unlock new gameplay experiences. So it kind of almost sounds like Dwarf Romantic in a way, if you've played that, where you have the boxes. And even though that's not a legacy game, once you get to certain points in the campaign, you get to unlock stuff that you get to add to the regular game. That kind of feels like how it's happening here with Flow as well. And you're obviously going to have allies that are helping you. You're gaining abilities, you're gaining items, you're venturing, and then you're purchasing upgrades, getting ready for your next big adventure. And the interesting thing about this one too is it features a region-to-region movement system that allows heroes and sailboats to navigate this realm. And you never need to count squares on a grid. So apparently it's going to be very easy to know how you're going to move in this game. So lots of intriguing things about this one. Again, I'm still questioning if this is going to come out in 2025. It is supposed to, but there's been, I think, some production holdups and some design holdups as well. So I really hope they pull it off. I really hope we see it later this year. But Flow at number 8. Number 7 is a game that just had a crowdfunding campaign, and it was successful, and it's slated for a 2025 release. It's a solo-only game as well, and that is Storyfold Wildwood. So this is a solo narrative adventure board game with really, really great art, and I think that's what drew me into this one. It's just, it looks so great, the table presence. I haven't seen it obviously set up in person yet, but just the pictures of it look really unique in terms of artwork for a game, and I love that it is a solo-only experience as well. So this is a narrative adventure game. You're going to play as a young girl named Aluma and her bear companion, and they're going to heal the forest from a dark and mysterious shadow. So you'll use this storybook, which has like a dashboard in it, and then you'll do a replayable campaign, and each session is a single scene, and multiple scenes form a chapter. And then obviously the choices you make throughout the course of the game are going to affect things later on in the game and in the campaign. So I like that it's pretty simple. It looks like it's a pretty small campaign game, not a lot of setup, not a lot of rules, which is one thing that intrigues me. You know, I really like that campaign experience, but sometimes all the stuff that comes with that is not a lot of fun. If you have to do a ton of setup, or if you have to remember a bunch of rules from one game to the next, or just other things that come into play that prevent you from completing that campaign and getting through that campaign. So that doesn't seem like it's going to be the case here with Storyfold Wildwoods. It seems like this is going to be a pretty small campaign game. Again, I love that it is a solo-only experience. Looks really cool. Cannot wait to check it out. Storyfold Wildwoods at number 7. So number 6 on this list is from Mind Clash Games, and last year they had a big game that hit the solo community pretty hard. That is Voidfall. That was a space-themed game. You were doing lots of stuff in that game. Big setup, big board, lots of rules, lots of concepts, but a lot of people really enjoyed that experience, and I never played it. It just looked a little too intimidating for me, so that's why I'm excited for their release coming out later this year, which is Revenant. So this is in the Voidfall universe, but it's supposed to be a little bit simpler than Voidfall. This is a worker placement game, and you're going to take on the role of admirals, coordinating the defense of a fleeting starfleet, and also competing to earn influence with different factions throughout the course of the game as well. So this is a 4-round game, and you're exploring planets, you're upgrading your ships and your crew, you're deploying new vessels, and also you're affiliated with one of the great houses. Each ship is, and each time you assign crew there, you gain influence with that house. So that kind of sounds like a Dune Imperium type feel, where you are trying to obviously gain influence with the different factions in Dune. You're kind of doing the same thing here in Revenant. There's a few things that I like about this game. One is it looks like it's a little bit of a smaller game, but still has that really cool Voidfall feel to it. So that's one thing that really intrigues me. I love a good worker placement game as well. It seems like there's going to be a lot going on in this worker placement game, and I'm really interested to check this one out. I also really like the space theme as well. I think it just looks great. Some of the pictures that I've seen set up on the table, it really pops, has a fantastic table presence to it, and I'm hoping the solo mode is just as good as people say the solo mode is for Voidfall. I'm sure it will be. It's being co-designed by David Turtsey, who designs a lot of different solo modes, and so I'm sure this one will be a very robust experience as well. But one that I definitely want to check out that's supposed to be out later this year, Revenant from Mind Clash Games, that is number 6. Number 5 is a game that was on crowdfunding that is getting delivered to backers right about now. So I'm assuming we'll see this kind of in retail here in the next couple of months. It's definitely coming out in 2025 because people have played it. That is Aridia, The Paths We Dare Tread. So this is a campaign-based, cooperative, fantasy-based green legacy role-playing game. I'll explain what that is here in just a second. So there's 4 different things that you're doing in Aridia. You're exploring, you're progressing, you're doing combat, and you're also role-playing as well. All of those things feel very interesting to me. Early reviews on this game from some people that have played it said they have really, really enjoyed it, found it to be a fantastic campaign and fantastic legacy game, and it just looks really cool. It looks like the designers that have designed this game have really put a lot into it. It feels like everything is very cohesive. Everything comes together very well. It just looks like a really nice package overall. So if you're interested in the legacy game aspect of it, the green legacy game, so the publisher notes that Aridia has all the hallmarks of a legacy game. You know, you're opening packages, you have hidden information, you're progressing, you're exploring, but it allows you to reset the game when you have completed it, so you can either play it again or you can pass it on to someone else. That's another really nice feature that I like, and I'm not judging the game solely based on that, but I think if more legacy games do that, that really adds to the replayability of the game, and also the ability, like it says, to pass it on to somebody else, maybe gift it to somebody else, maybe resale it once you're done with it, things like that, so that you don't just have to throw it in the trash when you're done. That's a really nice aspect of this. But I love the world that they have created for this game. It just looks very, very cool. It looks like it's a very robust experience that, one, it could be a game that you could really just dive into and be like, the only game you play throughout the course of 2025. It just looks like there's so much content here for this one. So Aridia, The Paths We Dare Tread, at number 5 on my most anticipated list. Number 4 is a big roll and write game from IV Studios, and that is Tend, coming in at number 4. So in this game, you are working as a pioneer working for the Zenith Corporation to start a homestead on a new alien world. And what makes Tend really unique, it's a flip and write game, but you have so many different things that you are doing. And just like this one is so involved in terms of the roll and write and flip and write aspect, and that's what really draws me in. I really love complex roll and writes. That's one thing that I've really gotten into over the past couple of years. So this one really intrigues me because of that factor. So all players are going to be using the same deck of action cards each round to take actions on your own sheet. So it seems like the solo mode is going to be pretty easy to operate because it doesn't seem like it's going to have that many more additional rules. And then as the game progresses, new cards get added to that deck, and that changes what actions are available for you to take. So there's lots of different things in this game. It comes with markers if you get the deluxe version. It's got little scratch off cards as well. That's been a big aspect that has been very intriguing for a lot of people. So there's a lot of things going on here, and again, I'm anticipating this one and intrigued by this one, but sometimes when you have that many mechanisms, it can also not be a fantastic game just because you're trying to remember so much stuff. So I'm hoping the rule set is pretty easy for this one, but it looks great. I love the idea of a complex flip and write game, and so Tend from IV Studios is at number 4. Number 3 is a game that is coming out here very soon, so this one will definitely be out in 2025 after a few delays, and that is The Dark Quarter. This is a co-collab between Lucky Duck Games and Van Ryder Games. Lucky Duck makes the Chronicles of Crime series and the Destinies game, and Van Ryder obviously is known for Final Girl, so they are taking those two efforts, putting them together, and creating a crime noir type game set in New Orleans in the 1980s. So this one, obviously the theme is what is drawing me in here. It looks dark, it looks gritty. I love that it's a crime game that doesn't seem like it's going to be afraid to pull any punches. It seems like the cases are going to be pretty mature and pretty dark, which I think is really intriguing and could really get you, involved in this world of investigating these cases. So there's lots of curses and creatures and things that you're going to be investigating and discovering throughout the course of the game. And this is going going to work, it seems like Chronicles of Crime or like Destiny's, where it's a multi-scenario campaign. And normally those are like 3 or 4 cases that are put together into one singular campaign. And obviously there's going to be a lot of content for this game too once it comes out, because the ability to make more cases and expansions is pretty easy. This one will use an app just like all the other Lucky Duck games like Destiny's, like Chronicles of Crime. So if that turns you off, obviously don't look into this one. But I think this one's going to be really, really fun. And the characters are, woven into the fabric of the story, it says, and their destiny and the destiny of New Orleans are linked together. So there's lots of cool aspects about this one. It's been scheduled to come out for a couple of years, but I just saw an update from, I think, Kickstarter or GameFound that it's almost on the coast, on the West Coast, and about to get to backers here very soon. So we should see it here pretty soon, and I really want to play this one. I love Chronicles of Crime. I did enjoy Destiny's, but didn't think it was great as a solo experience, but I liked what they did with that, and I liked the progression system and the dice system in that, which they are implementing here in the Dark Quarter. So if they could combine that great Chronicles of Crime storytelling, if Van Ryder can bring their aspects from Final Girl into it and create a little bit of a horror element to it, I think you've got a recipe for success here. The Dark Quarter at number 3. Number 2 is another big game that was on crowdfunding and is coming out later this year, and that is Galactic Cruise from Kenson Key Games. So Galactic Cruise is, the theme of this game is that you are taking people on a galactic cruise. You are taking them to space, and you are playing as a company that is offering space vacations. One that's just a really cool theme. There's lots of space games, obviously, but there's not a lot of like tourist space games, but obviously that's becoming a thing in real life as very rich people are able to take private flights to space. And so that's what you're going to be doing here in Galactic Cruise. This is a worker placement game, and you're going to place a worker to take 2 actions in your network. You can launch a ship and send one of your workers to space as a pilot, or recall all your workers and get some special bonuses. And there's lots of different actions you can take, including getting blueprints, constructing ships, getting guests, building developments, all of that stuff. And then when you launch a ship, one of your workers goes with it, obviously, as the pilot, and then you go to various destinations, and the number of days you spend in space will reward you for all of your hard work. So lots of cool things going on in this game. It looks like a big game as well, going to take up a lot of space on a table, lots of different aspects going on throughout the course of this one. But I think the theme is so intriguing. The artwork looks great for this one. I love a good worker placement game, and it seems like this one's really going to allow you to have that feel of running your own company that is taking people to space. It just looks really innovative and a really cool design for a theme that, the space theme, like I said, has been used a bunch, but a space tourism theme we haven't really seen yet. And so for all of those reasons, Galactic Cruise is at number 2. So number 1 on my list is a follow-up to one of my games that was in my top 10 solo games of all time. This is from Garfield Games, and this is the Anarchy, in at number 1. So this is a spiritual successor to Hadrian's Wall, a very, very complex flip and write game. And I love Hadrian's Wall. It was, again, in my top 10 solo games of all time, and it seems like the Anarchy is just going to be building on that. Still has the dual sheets aspect of Hadrian's Wall, still has the worker aspect of it where you are switching workers out for other workers, and it also, this one is coming with a solo campaign as well included in the box. So Hadrian's Wall had a solo campaign that you could download from BGG that was very popular, and a lot of people did that and kind of played through that solo campaign. Well, for the Anarchy, they're just going to include that in the game from the get-go. So that's a great thing for solo players to be able to just have that solo campaign right out of the box, and you're able to really enjoy this game a lot and have a lot of replayability with this one as well. I've played Hadrian's Wall so many times, and each time it is a different and unique experience. It really changes every single game, and I feel like this one is going to be no different. So really intrigued by this one to see what things they change from Hadrian's Wall, what things they keep the same, but I love that there's going to be kind of a successor or a sequel to Hadrian's Wall. So the Anarchy at number 1 on my list from from Garfield Games. So there you go, my top 10 solo games that I'm most anticipating here in 2025. Just to run that list down again, we had at number 10, Casinopolis. Number 9 was Speakeasy. Number 8 was Flow. Number 7, Storyfold Wildwoods. Number 6 was Revenant. Number 5 was Aridia, The Paths We Dare Tread. Number 4 was 10. Number 3 was The Dark Quarter. 2 was Galactic Cruise. And number 1 was The Anarchy. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I'll review some of those games throughout the course of the year here in 2025. And it's going to be another great year for solo board gaming. A lot of big releases already on the calendar for this year. Until next time, I'm Jared. You've been checking out Specifically Solo.